Well, tonight I'm riding a black unicorn. Welcome to the Lair of Voltaire. This is not a video newsletter. This is a Q&A. And I have to tell you, ever since I've started doing my video newsletters live, I find myself feeling very, very badly immediately afterwards because there's so many questions and I typically can't answer all those questions because I'm in the process of doing like a State of the Union address, right? Like, hey, oh, someone says there's no sound. Is that true for everybody? If somebody else has no sound, let me know. Well, I don't think it can't be that my phone is not, I have sound. Okay, so whoever says they have no sound probably should turn up the volume on their situation. In any case, just want to make sure. So I always feel so badly. I end up answering or end up talking a lot about what I have going on, what records I'm working on, what merch I'm making. And I see all these questions coming in, and I don't get to many of them at all. Um, Last time, I enabled super chat and super stickers for the first time ever, almost accidentally. And so, obviously, you do want to answer questions when people send in a super chat because it's only right. So I found myself trying to do the newsletter and simultaneously answering questions from people who were super chatting. Hi, Anastasia. Oh, you ever can do? Of course, I would consider doing a live streamed concert. Haven't gotten to that yet, though, but I am working on it. In the meanwhile, I probably will be posting my Dragon Con concert at some point soon, presuming it's okay with Dragon Con people. For those of you who missed that, I did a half-hour long concert for the virtual Dragon Con event this year, and I was thinking might be nice to post it right here on this channel if they say it's okay. Hello, Dizzy Melody. Have you ever considered being an officiant in a wedding? We were just talking about that. Mayumi and I, we stayed in a castle in Tarrytown, New York this weekend because we went up to Sleepy Hollow, and I'm standing in the castle, and somebody who worked there was kind enough to give us a tour, and we're standing outside, and he was like, we do weddings here. And I was like, really? This looks so familiar. And I suddenly realized I had officiated a wedding there. I had officiated the wedding of Brian Viglione and his then wife, Olia Viglione, a beautiful Russian lady, very talented singer-songwriter. He's, of course, a drummer, originally from the Dresden Dolls, and played on something like 5 or 6 of my albums. And I officiated their wedding. So yeah, not only have I considered officiating weddings, I have officiated many weddings, including the wedding of our friends Megan and Ernie, and God, so many. I've officiated. Well, I shouldn't say so many. Probably under 12, but I've done them. Yeah, I have. In any case, so that brings us to a non-video newsletter, right? This is a Q&A, but there are a couple of announcements that I do need to get out of the way. First of all, where am I playing near you? I have an answer to that this time. So as you may know, if you watched the last video newsletter, I have a show coming up on Halloween in Shreveport, Louisiana at the Logan Mansion. That is going to be outrageous. If you live anywhere near Louisiana, I would strongly encourage you coming to this event. It is a VIP event. There's going to be amazing food, amazing drinks, amazing entertainment, all in the Logan Mansion, half a block away from an incredible cemetery. And you're not going to want to miss this. If you live down in NOLA, come up. If you live in Alabama, come over. Really, this is going to be the thing to do on Halloween. So I encourage you to visit us there. Mayumi and I will be traveling there together. We hope to see you there. There's another show. I have now booked November 15th in Dallas, Texas. That's right. The church is back. I believe it's in a different location. It might be a little different, but in spirit, we are going back to church. And so that is November 15th, a Sunday, as it always has been when I play at the church. I have not yet added that information to my website, but I will later tonight. So please try to join me there. And then I'm also performing at Dark Side of the Con 2021, which is in New Jersey somewhere. Parsippany, maybe? That sounds about right. Somewhere in New Jersey. And that information will be added to my website in the next day or two as well. So there's shows starting to happen, which makes me very, very happy. And before I continue and start just straight up taking questions from you guys, I do want to give you an update on merch. As you all probably know by now, the Globlin is now available. You can now get this on my web store. I will put a link below once this Q&A is over. But if you are desperate to get one immediately before this thing's over, go to voltaire.net/store. Voltaire.net/store. And if you go there, you will find a link to where you can get a Globlin. Now, as my gels are not ready yet. Thank you, Jennifer. My gels are not ready yet, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to why that is. So I've been putting the ones from, I went to Bed Bath and Beyond. I always say that, Bath and Body Works, and I bought some for myself. So if you pick up a Globlin, I would recommend going to Bath and Body Works and getting yourself some of these gels and stick them in there because they fit. And this thing lights up. It's completely insane. It's going to be great for trick-or-treating or finding your way through haunted houses, or if you can't get out of that spaceship you've been abducted in, or whatever the case may be. These come in really handy. They're only $20, and they're so well made. I'm so happy with this. This is the very first item from the Lair of Voltaire line of home decor and scented goods. We have some scented candles we're working on, and we have some gloves and masks. And so before I go any further, let me tell you about those. You've all at some point seen me wearing something like this now. That's one of my masks. The masks and gloves come as sets. So the masks all have matching gloves. I'm almost a jack-o'-lantern. And this was the first one to be approved. This was my Bats and Beast design in royal purple. And that one comes with the gloves as well. The bad news is I just got a call from my partner at the Lair of Voltaire line of goods. And apparently China has just changed the law limiting who can produce, which factories can produce things like masks and gloves. And our factory just got the boot. So we literally have to move our entire operation somewhere else. I was hoping to have these things for you by Halloween. That is not going to happen. And now we're literally starting all over again. So we have to move to a new factory and carry on trying to bring these masks and gloves to you. Now there was 30 of them that were supposed to go to this party for like the VIP tickets for the party in Shreveport. We're trying to see if we can get them to send at least 30 of them for that. And if not, I'm going to replace that item. Instead of the gloves and mask, you're going to get a Globlin. So hopefully that'll satisfy you. But that's what's happening with merch. And now that I've gotten all of the important stuff out of the way, I guess there was one more thing I did want to mention. My very good friend George. Hey, Eric. Can't wait for your Boston return. Me too. Bath and Body Spooky Sanitizers for life. Thank you very much. Thank you for your generosity. Yeah, I hope to return to Boston too. Hopefully that'll happen in February or early next year. Can you have your masks? Hold on. What is Melody? Melody, can you have your masks and gloves made in Mexico? I'm not the one making them, so I can't say. I have a partner who handles all of that stuff. He's a manufacturer who does all of these kinds of things, and I what's the word I'm looking for? I defer to his wisdom. There's also been problems in Mexico because Mexico got sneaky and decided to send some hand sanitizing gel that wasn't alcohol. It was something else, and the FDA got super mad, and now imports from Mexico are being regulated. Anything that involves like, sanitization or, mask, gloves, things like that coming from Mexico now are getting extra scrutinized because somebody got shady and tried to do something dumb. One bad apple ruins the whole lot. That's sometimes just the way it is. So I don't think they're going to be made in Mexico. In any case, so where was I? I did want to point out that if you guys caught my friend's new album, so George Grant, my co-producer on Almost Human, Boo Hoo, Then and Again, Ookie Spooky, To the Bottom of the Sea, Riding a Black Unicorn, Bitrektual, Raised by Bats, and Hate in a Small Town. That's a lot of albums to work on together. He's got his own album out. He's got a band called Black Rose Burning, and the new album is amazing. It is actually really amazing. It's called Year of the Scorpion. Well, yes, I agree with you. Random 69. I agree with you. And thank you, by the way. So the album Year of the Scorpion is really amazing. It's on crazy, ludicrous rotation here at the Lair of Voltaire. We listen to it quite a lot. And he made a music video for the first single, which was Twin Suns, and now he's just put out the music video for the next single, which is In Dream Time. So check that out here on YouTube. I'll put a link below, but in the meanwhile, you can always search on YouTube for Black Rose Burning Twin Suns, and you will find him. It's great music. It's very 80s. Hope you won't get mad at me saying that, but considering my last album, What Are the Odds, tried very hard to be very 80s. I hope that will be considered a compliment. And now, without further ado, we begin our official question and answer period. Lucifer Crowley, what genre is it? I mean, he says it's death rock, maybe dark 80s. I'm not sure. I would say it's very dark 80s sounding. I love it. I think it's really, really great. Hi, John. Answer if you have time. What happened to the tyranny of distance? I love what was shared and was looking forward to the music video when you recorded. Me too. Me too. I was looking forward to it too. And, you know, I recorded all the instrumentation in Bali, Indonesia. And then, you know, it's just one of those things that sometimes becomes a casualty of your life. And it was a one-off, you know, like it was never supposed to be part of an album. It was never part of a concept, and I was working on it. And I'm going to say that I was a little disheartened by the reception that She's Glowing got, because I shot a music video for She's Glowing in Indonesia. And to this day, it has less views than songs that I've got that were just like the album cover, you know. So I was just so disheartened. I put so much effort into She's Glowing. I thought it looked like Hungry Like the Wolf, maybe slightly lower budget, but I thought it was very Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran. I'm like wading through a jungle river, literally surrounded by wild animals that could kill me at any moment. It's such an exciting video, I think, and it just didn't really spark any passion in my public, in my audience, and I think that kind of dissuaded me from continuing to work in that direction, what I was doing with Tyranny of Distance. And then I conceived Black Labyrinth, got super crazy excited about Black Labyrinth, and I've been working on that. So Tyranny of Distance, I'm sorry to say, is still just kind of up in the air, but it might come out at some point. Sorry for the very long-winded answer, but that is that. Angry Clown 1990 says, I'm a huge fan. What's the best way to contact you about a performance? I've been working on plans for a huge Halloween event for years, and I'd love to hire you for some live entertainment. I am the easiest person in the entire internet to find. My website is voltaire.net. That's my website. The emails go to me. When you hit the contact button, if you don't want to hit the contact button, you can email voltaire@voltaire.net. Put booking in the title of the subject, and I will get back to you right away. So super easy. Now I am way behind, I think. God, I hope I haven't let's see how far behind I've gotten here. I shouldn't talk so much. Okay, so I did miss. Oh yeah, Seiyan Ayomaru. Seiyan Ayomaru.
You had one before.
Got the Globlin and your vinyl in today. Any more vinyl in the future? Bottom of the sea, perhaps. Oh, vinyl. You bought the vinyl album of Devil's Bris. Oh, thank you. First of all, thank you for your order, and thank you for your generosity. I thank you for keeping track, too, of folks at home, because I can't do it all. Thank you, Mayumi. So, first of all, thanks for picking that up. Vinyl, I'd love to do more vinyl. I think To the Bottom of the Sea is a top contender, as is Raised by Bats. For me to do, because I own the rights to those. For Project to do, I would think maybe Ookie Spooky might be next on their list, because I just remixed all of Ookie Spooky because I'm a weirdo. So maybe Ookie Spooky might be next if I can convince Project to do it. On my end, if I'm going to do one, I'd probably do Raised by Bats first. But To the Bottom of the Sea is a possibility too. Wolf Girl Forever! Would you ever consider performing at a wedding? Oh, Wolf Girl, I have performed at weddings. Again, I performed at the wedding of my friends Megan and Ernie. I did not perform at the wedding I officiated for Brian Viglione and Olia. I did not perform at that one, but I've performed at all of the other weddings that I've officiated. So yeah, absolutely. It's on the menu. Okay, so and then we did that one, and then scrolling through. Oh my God, I'm so far behind. I'm so far behind. How are you? I'm good. Thank you. She's Glowing is a beautiful song. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love that song. It's directly inspired by the Psychedelic Furs. If you don't know who they are, they wrote Pretty in Pink, Love My Way, Heartbreak Beat. And I wrote that song while I was house sitting for Richard Butler, the lead singer of the Psychedelic Furs. We were very good friends, and he was on tour, and I sat in his apartment for a week or 2 weeks. And I was like, hey, can I use your reel-to-reel recorder? And I wrote the song She's Glowing somewhere around 1991 or 1992 on the quarter-inch reel-to-reel of the lead singer of the Psychedelic Furs. And I think it shows. Oh, and then ironically, at the time, Richard Butler had started a new band, kind of a grunge band called Love Spit Love. The guitarist was a fellow named Richard Fortis, and Richard Fortis played the guitars on She's Glowing. After all of these years, I reached out to him and I was like, we haven't talked in a long, long time. Would you be willing to play on this song? And he was like, absolutely. And he's the guitarist. Are your ears pointed? Says, oh, like butt load of crap. I think that says, my God, does it but I can't read that. I need my glasses. But thank you very much. My ears are pointed. I have my ears surgically pointed. Always wanted to be either a Vulcan or an elf, and now I can pretend I'm both. Is Orville, whoops. Is Orville a real corpse, or did you make him? I really want to know. I've wondered for long. Orville does not feel comfortable discussing his origins, so I have promised to never say. So that's, unfortunately, I can't tell you. Or what? No, See, now you got Orville going. Thanks a lot. It's not me. It's buttload of crap or whatever that name was. That buttload. So what was it? Listen, buttload or whatever your name was. You got it? Just tell me what your name is in the next comment so that I can get it right. Oh, thank you for answering. But I still know. Oh no, that wasn't buttload. That was Pulolo. What's with everybody in the butt and the poo names? What's going on here? Estamos aquí con una gente que todos sus nombres tienen algo que ver con popó. ¿Qué dice eso? Oh, hay otro.
Candy alchemist.
Okay. So now I'm scrolling through. Can you see my finger? I really hope not. I think I just have to hit the blue button. Oh my God, I almost just ended the feed. I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at this. Me lo tienes que leer porque no lo veo.
Okay. Thanks for all you do. I successfully made the cemetery dirt. Trying my hand now at tentacle breadsticks.
Aha! Thanks for all you
Alchemist.
Ya lo encontré. Trying my hand now at tentacle breadsticks. Wow, Candy Alchemist. I want to know how to make tentacle breadsticks. You're going to have to let me know. Send me an email, voltaire@voltaire.net, and tell me how that went, because I'd be very curious. I'm planning on making a Cthulhu punch tomorrow. The only problem is I don't know how to make a Cthulhu punch. I literally have just the name. I don't even know what it should look like, other than the fact that it should probably be green. It should have dry ice, maybe some red lighting. I'm not really sure. But I thought, how do we add tentacles to this? And how could they be, tentacles that are not made of plastic or rubber? So I'm not really sure yet. I'm hoping to figure that out. Do you know how easy it is to find sugar-free ingredients for your parfait? My mother's diabetic and cannot enjoy the recipe you've given. Jester Mario. I don't know, unfortunately, because I haven't looked into it. I really don't know. I don't know if they make a sugar-free I know that they make a sugar-free pudding because I accidentally bought it and it tasted awful. I know that's not helpful. That's not what you want to hear. But I was eating some like instant Jello that I like, the Jello, in case I was going to be lazy and just make it with Jello. One of the brands that I bought was Jello pudding. Oh my God, I can't speak English anymore. Jello chocolate pudding. And I was eating it and I was like, this is awful. What is this? And I looked, it's like sugar-free. I was like, oh, that's why. But so I know there's chocolate pudding that's sugar-free. I just don't know about the rest of the ingredients. I'm sure you could find sugar-free cookies. Just don't know about the sugar-free cream. Halloween 29. For a year and a half, I've been struggling with writing a book, and my antagonist is based heavily on you. Any tips for writer's block? Well, that's a tough one. Well, you know what I do is work on other projects. So I have I don't know if it's luckily for me or unfortunate for me, but I I always have a million things going on. So when I get stuck on something, I move to something else. And then a few days goes by and I'm back. If I get stuck, I'm presently writing lyrics for the Black Labyrinth. And I've been working on one song called When I Said I Was Evil, which is sort of like a sequel to When You're Evil. And I've been working on that, and like I wouldn't say I'm stuck on it, but it's moving slowly. So I'll put that down and I'll start working on one of the Spanish songs, or I'll start working on, like some merch ideas or something. And a day or two later, inspiration strikes on Black Labyrinth. So my advice to you would be write something else. Give yourself an assignment. Be like, today I'm going to write a 2-page story about zombies. Just something that's like a throwaway project. And you'd be surprised. It might spark something in your brain for the original project. John M., any more lair storage items planned for auction? It's hard to say. As a hoarder, it's really hard to get me to throw anything away. And inevitably, I find myself regretting things that I've thrown away. That is the ultimate, curse of being a hoarder, is that you're like, I need to hold on to this, this bit of plastic because I just know I'm going to need this for something. And it's so ridiculous. And you're not going to need it for anything. And then like a year goes by and you're like, what would have been perfect right now? To have that damn bit of plastic. That happened to me today. That's right, today. Because I bought these tentacled candelabras from, I don't remember where. They looked really beautiful. And over the years, they had gotten like completely covered in wax. And they were in fine condition. The wax could have been melted off and they would have been restored more or less to their original beauty. But it was one of those days where there was so much stuff in here and they had been on the floor. I'd moved them out of the bathroom. They'd been on the floor and I kept tripping over them. And one day I was finally like, they're going in the garbage right now. I don't care if I need them later. They're going, and I threw them away. And today I was like, what do I put inside of a Cthulhu punch? I was like, what if I had like a tentacle? Guy threw out those damn candelabras. It's the story of my life. Story of my life. So anyway, so at the moment, no, I would say no. But there's so much stuff in storage, and I am looking to empty my storage unit. So you just never know. What else we got here? Oh my God, so many comments. I don't know which one to answer. Yeah, I think me pasé de uno. ¿Eh? ¿Qué dice?
Have you ever watched Christine McConnell?
I have a moderator, luckily for me. Have I ever watched Christine McConnell?
Yeah.
Yes, I've watched Christine McConnell. Top true trivia. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. Christine McConnell, yeah, she's super talented. I mean, I used to follow her back in the day when she was on Instagram, I think it was, and I just thought she was so incredibly talented. I'll tell you a funny story about Christine McConnell that you probably have never heard before. Then I'm supposed to tell you where I sleep. So in 2016, when I was started Gothic Homemaking, of course my dream was, and I was making it very much like a TV show. They were half-hour long episodes. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, and thank you for your generosity. So I was working on Gothic Homemaking, and I very much thank you. Oh, thank you, Naktua. I was very much wanting it to be picked up by a network, and so I made it very much like it was a TV show. They were 22-minute long episodes, just the perfect length when you add commercial breaks. And I got an email from some guy, random guy, and he unfortunately negged me. I don't know if you know what negging is. It's like a pickup technique, which is really totally crappy. It's when you walk up to someone and you treat them very badly in the hopes that they're somehow going to like you for it, which is, I think it's the stupidest thing in the entire world. But in one of those, like, I don't know, one of those The Game or dating advice books, it was like, you're supposed to walk up to a woman and be like, hey, you're not that pretty, but your friend, she's super hot. Can you introduce me to her? And like somehow she's going to want you. And I just think the whole thing is so sick and twisted and awful. But the guy did basically the same thing to me. He wrote to me and he was like, hey, so I've been watching your show. The camera work is really bad. I'm a camera person and I could help you. Um, and I've been thinking about pitching a show to Netflix with Christine McConnell, and I think if you guys teamed up, it would be a really good uh, pitch. And I was just so annoyed that instead of this man doing what I would have done or what I've always told my son to do, like when you're reaching out to strangers, always put your best foot forward, always be respectful. Don't point out the things you don't like, point out the things you do like. Don't point out the weaknesses, point out the strengths. If you're going to ingratiate yourself to someone, you have a much better chance if you're doing it in a way where you are a pleasant and positive force that they want to be involved in, not somebody who's like just, tearing you apart. So I just never replied. And then, like 6 months to a year later, Christine McConnell's show started airing on Netflix, and I was like, "Is that that guy?" And I thought it had some Gothic homemaking ish. What's the word I'm looking for? Trappings, like the puppets and stuff. I was like, this is a lot like Gothic homemaking. But anyway, and then I was very sad when it canceled because I wanted her to do very, very well. Even if I wasn't the one who got the show, but I wanted her to do very, very well. So I was sad when it canceled. And I think she's extraordinarily talented. I've reached out to her a couple of times to collaborate, but she's never written back. Anyway, but I'd love to work with her. I think she's great. Jess Burns says, my husband and I adore you. Could you say hi to my husband, John, please? He's having a really rough day. Hi, John. I hope your day turns around. John, something that I've learned the hard way is that nothing lasts. Nothing lasts forever. Unfortunately, that's true about good stuff too. But the bright side is that that's true about bad stuff. So even your worst days dissipate if you wait long enough. I have a recipe for all things that ail me, including medical problems that ail me. I don't take medicine. I go with a philosophy that rum and thyme heal everything. Rum and thyme heal absolutely everything. If you drink enough rum and you wait enough time, that cold will go away, that back pain will go away. I'm entirely certain this tooth's going to grow back. I'm entirely certain if I drink enough rum and I wait enough time. Just you watch. Just you watch. Emily Lestrange says, I love your horse, Malicorn, and Hargoyle plushies. Will you be making any new bat plushies? I'm a bat collector and would love a bat raised by you. I would love to do a bat plush. I mean, another one, because Candy Claus is sort of a bat. He's sort of a goblin. No, what is he? A gargoyle. He's like a gargoyle. He's kind of like a bat-like gargoyle. I'd love to do a straight-up bat. We'll see. I got to sell a bunch of these Candy Claus first because I have a lot of them. The Malicorn sold out almost immediately, but the candy corns, they sell slower for some reason. I don't know why. Less brownies, because the brownies aren't on board. The brownies are not like, gotta get that candy corn. Okay. Well, thank you, Lucifer Crowley. Joe Spades. Is this the Kim and Sinyas? Mm-hmm. Joe Spades, have you watched the Ask a Mortician channel? Yes, I have. And I bought her book, which I thought was really interesting. Interesting thing about her and the book is that she went to Sulawesi to see that, well, it's not really a festival. It's like a ceremony where they pull out their family members from their tombs to redress them and clean them up. And I was there. I was not there during that festival, but I was in that town and I went to the graves and I went, and visited. They have very, very unique and unusual funerary traditions, if you will, in Toraja, it's called, on the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia. And I filmed it all for my show, A Light in the Shadows, which still doesn't exist. Dahlia Rose, I struggle with depression and your music always puts me at peace. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you very much. I always say, Dahlia, that my music is battle tested. My songs are battle tested because I write the songs to help me through the same things that they probably helped you get through, because I wrote them for me to solve the same purpose. It's why hammers work, because the very first thing somebody needed to do with a hammer, the very first thing that needed to be done with a hammer, that's something that caused someone to invent the hammer, is what it continues to work really well for. So I'm glad it helps you. Brendan, good to see you here, Brendan. Hi, sir. I've been following your advice and working hard, but there's still a lot to do. Do you have any advice for dealing with a bad teacher and rough classes? Ugh, that's a tough one. I mean, rough classes? Do you mean hard? Like they're academically difficult? I don't know because I hated being a student. I loved being a student in classes that were about things that I liked, but I hated being a student of things like math and science and things that I didn't want to do. Um, but as far as dealing with a teacher, you got to understand something about the world we presently live in is that for better or worse, and teachers will tell you for worse, but it's up to you to decide. Teachers work for you, and if you're having a problem with a teacher, you should speak to a counselor. You should speak to every school. I'm guessing has a counselor. I know that my school does. I've certainly have had students who I didn't get along with, or they didn't get along with me for some reason, and they went and they spoke to a counselor, and we sorted it out. Like they didn't like that I played music in class or whatever, and it's like as long as somebody communicates their feelings, and particularly if you have a third party that can arbitrate, anything can be solved. Anything can be solved. So I would suggest that if a teacher's making you feel uncomfortable, go speak to your counselor, go speak to a school administrator, because believe me, that situation will get sorted. This punk 7777, what happened to the Haunted Mansion special you were going to make for the Disney Channel? I also have thought about making a Gothic movable bar. I don't know of any Haunted Mansion special that I was going to make for the Disney Channel. I don't know anything about that. Was I drunk when I said it? I honestly don't know what you mean. I wish I was making a Haunted Mansion special for the Disney Channel. I did have a meeting with the Disney Channel a million years ago, and I wanted to pitch them a Mechanical Girl series. Someone says, I think he meant Guillermo del Toro. I wish I was Guillermo del Toro. But I'm not, alas. I did pitch them, I wanted to pitch them a Mechanical Girl show, and I went and spoke with them. But first they were like, okay, so here's what we don't want. And they told me everything that was in the Mechanical Girl. So I was like, They're like, it can't be a girl protagonist. We have a lot of girl protagonists. It has to be a boy protagonist. Can't be set in the past. It can be set in the present or the future. It can't be the past. It can't be magical. We have a lot of that. I was like, they're like, so what did you want? I was like, nothing. Never mind. I got up and left. I saw Frozen 2 last night. Rather liked it. They did some very interesting things with Elsa's character. And there were some elements that are so Black Labyrinth. I was like, oh my God, that's in the Black Labyrinth. Which leads me to believe that Black Labyrinth is not only just like a conglomeration of all of these 80s shows, 80s movies like Labyrinth and Legend and Dark Crystal, but it's like archetypes of fantasy, because there were things in Frozen 2 that I would not have expected to, but they're in Black Labyrinth as well. So I was like, okay, well, I just have to accept that it's a universal subconscious project. I'm collaborating.
Wow.
I'll tell you who I'm not collaborating with. I am not collaborating with my tripod. ¿Me puedes pasar el tripod, por favor? Vladimir Voltaire, I love you. I love you too, Vladimir. I listen to your songs every day. My days aren't worth it if I don't listen to your songs. That is very, very, very sweet and very kind of you.
Hello to Trace.
Hold on one second. Es así. Anaí. Anaí?
Anaí.
Anaí. Anaí. Te perdí, Anaí. Where are you? Oh, there's Erica Chapman. I've got to get to you. Hold on. Anaí. Oh, okay, there we go. Hi there. I enjoy all you do. I'm planning to do a Gothic makeover in my corner of the world. Keep up the bloody great work. Thank you, Anaí. How are we doing here? Oh, what did I just do? No. Okay. Woo! That was scary. I lost you for a second there. I lost you all. It was terrifying. And now I've lost my focus. Literally and otherwise. Erica Chapman. Is that beautiful bat-faced pumpkin your creation? It is. I designed this myself. I drew this myself. But let's frame that up slightly differently. There we go. I drew it myself, and it's been bootlegged. It's all over the internet now. You can get it on Wish. I think I saw it on, what's the other one? That's super cheesy bootleg crap, like super poor quality knockoff stuff. Shine, that's the one. And I saw it on eBay as well. But it is my design. I absolutely positively made it myself. Yes, I said.
Electric bunny.
Oh, and would you like to have a vampire themed decor in your lair? Says Toysville. I love vampires, but I don't know that I would go full on vampire. Never go full vampire. Never go. I'm kidding. I know plenty of people who have gone full vampire and then just kept right on going. It happened again, folks. Oh my God. It happened again. You know,
You want the
it might be time for a better tripod. What do you guys think? ¿Qué es eso? Oh, what a great idea. Sí, ponlo ahí. Oh my God. I have now just completely left the chat. I have completely left the chat. Yeah, I know, but there we go. Okay. My phone completely left the chat. All right. I am now on a tripod that is actually not a tripod. It's a little piece of wood that can't fall over. That came with a really lovely gift that I was given by my very dear friend Amy. You might remember that coffin-shaped caddy that you can put in the tub. And it came with that. It's extremely convenient. I think it's to put your tablet on so you could like read a book while you're in the tub. But now we're going to use it as our tripod for the rest of this. Yes. Who said that? Your phone hates you. Yes, Lori. My phone really does hate me. I apologize if I was in the middle of answering a question and I don't remember where I was anymore because let's face it, that was a disaster. You guys only watch this stuff because you know things are going to go horribly wrong. That's why that's why you guys watch this stuff. Oh, I had gotten a question. I remember this now. A while back, and I said that I'd answer it later. Where do you sleep? Yes, such a good question. I sleep on my side. Like this, like in the fecal position. It is fecal position, right? Yeah, okay. I think Mayumi doesn't get the joke.
Yeah, what?
I said, I sleep in the fecal position.
No.
Wakala. Fuchi. World's greatest bard. Thank you very much. Bend a bomb. Thank you. I sleep on my stomach. Okay. Same. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, the tripod has been on the rum. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you in York next year. Chrono Fury. Me too. I just heard today that Liverpool is like getting re-locked down because of spikes in corona virus there. So I'm really hoping that's not a foreshadowing for putting the UK tour in jeopardy. Hannah says, I've been a huge fan of yours for 10 years. Thank you for everything you put into your work. Your songs have saved me more times than I can count. Thank you, Hannah. I really, really appreciate you for listening. And okay, so let's see. We're just pulling them out of the air here. And I do apologize. I wish I could do every single question that you send in. I do my very, very best, but physics. It's an issue of physics. It's an issue of time, space, and dimension. And now I've just wasted the time that I could have answered a question. Yeah, that would be a great idea. That would be such a great idea, honey.
Yeah.
Lucia Topaz, Voltaire, watching your Gothic homemaking videos has taught me many things and has helped me improve my craft. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate that. I work so hard on Gothic homemaking and it's so goofy, and I had a weird thing happen. It went like, I had like a tiny viral blip where for a week or two I went from getting 1,000 subscribers a month to 10,000 subscribers a month, but it only lasted 1 month and then it just went back to normal. It's like now we're kind of back to normal, but for a split second I thought my dream was going to come true of hitting 200,000 subs in 2020. It sounds so good, right? 200,000 subs in 2020, especially with however crap the rest of this year has been. But now I think I'm back. I think my analytics are back to like 1,000 new people a month, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to get me to 200,000 subscribers a month. Claptrap 4345, the great Lord himself. That's you, Claptrap. Thank you very much. Algo pasó aquí, no sé lo que me iba a enseñar, pero ya se fue. When do you come? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. When you come to Mexico? Jaime. Is it Jaime or Jamie? I'm going to go with Jaime because
Jaime.
you're Mexican. When do I come to Mexico? When am I coming to Mexico?
December.
December, maybe?
November.
November or December?
December.
Maybe December.
Or
I
November.
think December. But there's no shows planned yet, so hopefully we can plan something. Hold on. I want the mellow nameless Goulet. Long time fun. Do you have any cheap costume ideas? Any advice for a struggling ghoul? Also love listening to She's Glowing, and my birthday is the October 31st. Happy birthday, nameless Goulet. I wear this on Halloween. I always dress as myself because I'm usually performing. So I don't know. My closet's full of like. There was one year where I decided I wanted to like go to the Halloween parade. I needed a costume, and I went into my costume and I came out 30 seconds later as Zorro. Like I had the hat, and I had a cape, and I had all black clothes, and I had black boots, and I had a sword, and I was like, oh, and I had a mask, and I was like, Zorro. And I can go in there and come out as a pirate. I can go in there and come out as a vampire. It's just helpful to just, all year round have spooky clothes. And then Halloween becomes very easy. Electric Bunny. Hey, Voltaire, love your work. And Lair, keep doing what you do best. My question is, what's your inspiration to do YouTube and music? Electric Bunny, those are two very different things. My inspiration to do music is I just be doing it anyway. Mayumi can tell you, I sing songs, I make up songs non-stop. Literally non-stop. They're mostly about poop, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're mostly about poop.
Those are his favorites.
They're not my favorites. I gotta poop. Gotta go to the bathroom and make a poop. That's the scoop. That's the news. That's the scoop. I'm going to the bathroom to make a poop. And really, it's like all day long there are jingles about pooping and and nonsense like that. Really all day long. So it's something that I'd be doing anyway. I just really love writing songs. And YouTube started out as an opportunity to show people that I was a real human being. That because I'll tell you, and I've told the story before, but my YouTube channel started out of necessity because people were just like sharing my music on YouTube, and I was not compensated in any way, and it was an alternative to buying the music. So instead of buying the music, people were just listening to it on YouTube for free, and I was literally not benefiting in any way, shape, or form. And I was like, all right, I have to make a channel. Instead of taking down the music, instead of telling people to take down the music, I just need to make a channel where people can see my face and hear me speak and understand that I am a human being and that I'm the person who makes the music. And they want to listen to it for free all day long. That's awesome. That's cool. As long as they connect that I'm the person that it's coming from. Maybe they come to see a concert. Maybe I get to meet them in person and we can have that kind of connection. And that's why I started my YouTube channel. I think it's worked out very well in that sense. Aguántame un segundito. Gabrielle. Hey, Gabrielle. I always send friends happy birthday, my old friend, but none of them send it back to me. Can I get an early happy birthday, November 5th? Absolutely. Happy birthday, Gabrielle. May there be many, many more Fluvog shoes in your future. Mad Blood. A depressing question. My best friend who was my lover passed away 4 months ago. Trying to figure out how enjoying life again. Any advice? Love your music, by the way. Mad Blood. Let me tell you, and Mayumi and I were talking about this just last night because I was telling her the story of my girlfriend who took her life when I was 16 and she was 17. And I was trying to express what the following few months were like. And I felt so weird not being able to really express how dark that time was because so much time had passed, which is to say that, as people say, time heals all wounds, but In the beginning, it's just going to be really, really hard. There's literally nothing anyone can say to make you feel better. And it's a terrible thing for me to say. It's a terrible thing to accept, but that is my personal opinion. In my experience, nothing anyone said to me made me feel better. The best anyone can do for you is like take you out, take you to a movie, which may not be possible these days, take you to a park, take you to an event, send you some cool music, things like that. But nothing anybody will say to you will make you feel better. It's ultimately going to be just an issue of time. And I hope that time passes very quickly for you. A vision in vintage. I would love to send you a piece of my artwork to your lair. It's a picture frame with real bird feet. How do I do that? That is extremely kind, except as you look behind me, you might see that I have hit maximum capacity. I'm not sure at this point that I can accept anything new. Like anytime someone sends me something, I have to either put it directly in storage or pick something else to put in storage so that I have room for it. So that is extraordinarily generous of you. I'd love to see what you do though. So send me an email, voltaire@voltaire.net. Send me a link to your store. Let me at least enjoy looking at your work. Shadowlander. Hey, Voltaire, 2 questions. First, before music, what was your job? Second, any advice for dealing with tired muscles after a rough week at a postal service job? Well, before, I had a lot of jobs before being a musician. My very first one was I worked in a bakery, but that one didn't really count because I had no passion for scrubbing pans, because that's what I was doing in the bakery. I was 13 and I scrubbed pans. And then I worked in Tower Record. Oh no, then I worked in a ladies' shoe department of a posh department store in New Jersey. That was a fun job, actually. Not gonna tell you why. And then and then all right, I'm gonna tell you why. There was a lot of rich older women who fancied me. So that was a very, very fun job. But then I ran away from home, and then I went to New York City, and I worked in a record store, worked at Tower Records. But my first real job was animating TV commercials. That was my first real job. I animated commercials for Czech Snack Mix, for RC Cola. I animated Bud Bowl 2 years in a row, Super Bowl commercials, animated, and then I started directing. I directed stuff for MTV and Sci-Fi Channel, and I did that for many, 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 many years before I ever played a show. My solution for sore muscles? Ramen time! And a hot bath. Hot baths. Melkina. Melkina? Huh? Melfina. Oh, Melfina. You are correct. Melfina. Would you ever make a clothing line? And if so, what would it be called? Would it have themes? Oh, themes. Also, love your work and also love to share your work with us. First of all, thank you. First of all, Melfina, thank you for sharing the work. And I'm just going to take a moment right here to say, everybody watching, if you enjoy Gothic Homemaking, for the love of Cthulhu, please share a video today. Just pick one from the last month. Just anything recent from the last month. The one about cemetery dirt parfait, or the one about mulled wine, or the one about Gothic decorations in Mexico. Just pick one and just post it on social media or share it with a friend. It made such a huge difference last month. And then after a really big expansion, a whole bunch of new people came on. A whole bunch of new people saying, how did I not know this existed? This is exactly everything that I love. Let's keep that going. So please, that's my favor to you today. Just share a video, share it on social media, send it to a friend. I thank you. Melfina, the other question was, would I make clothing? Yeah, I would love to do that at some point, of course, but it's not in the cards immediately. I am making candle hold. Well, I can't show it to you because it's burning right now. I'm making scented candles, the Globlins and the gloves, and slowly expanding. I hope to have a home decor line, a spooky home decor line. But I'll tell you who does design clothes, Mayumi Toyoda, sitting right there. A lot of the clothes that you see her wearing in the videos are clothes she made herself. So keep an eye on her, because very soon, I think within a year, she will have an entire line of clothing, and you are going to love it.
Prince Neil.
All right. The Divine Witch. Each of your albums has a story behind it. Ever think about making animated videos for it? I get that question a lot. I'd rather just leave it to Daria Cohen. Animation's hard. It's time consuming. It takes forever. And in the time it would take me to animate one of my music videos, I could do 7 other projects. So I don't have any intention of animating my own videos. It's just way too time consuming. I'm 53. My time's running out, and I still have 3 million projects I want to make. So I'd rather be banging out projects like songs and live action stuff, and Gothic homemaking and merchandise and stuff that I can conceive, create, put out, and make something else. If I worked on animated videos, that's all I'd be doing for a million years. All right, Prince Neo. Got a question for the AQ Worlds guy. Do you plan on releasing Santa Claus as Satan in a studio setting? Love your work. That's a great idea. I would love to do it. I would love to do that. There's a lot in the pipeline. There's a whole Spanish album I'm presently working on, and there's all of Black Labyrinth. So maybe after that, a holiday album, we could put Santa Claus as Satan on there. We could put Bunny Apocalypse on there. We could put Coming Out for Christmas on there. It's a whole bunch of Christmas songs and, well, holiday songs. So yes, maybe 2021. Sarah Williams. My father owns a bar, and I kept playing your songs over the speakers. He kept getting annoyed and said, "Stop playing that guy you like." I merely stared at him as I played When You're Evil. That is so funny. Stop playing that guy you like. What's his name? Justin Bieber. Kidding. So, well, first of all, I'm flattered. Thank you very much for playing my music. Will Mayumi make plus sizes too?
Of course.
She says, of course. Says, my dizzy melody. She says, of course. So, all sizes.
Yeah.
We're going to even make clothes for your dogs. You got little baby dogs. We're going to make clothes for them too. We're going to make clothes for absolutely everybody. We're going to take care of everybody in the whole family.
Yeah, and for cats.
And for cats, yeah. We're going to make clothes for cats. Clothing for cats. That's going to be the name of the brand. Is clothing for cats.
Clothing for everybody.
Clothing for everybody. Literally everybody. You got a body? We got clothes. We're going to make them for you.
You have a body.
Do you have a body?
Then you can have it.
Then you got clothes. That's all I'm saying. My friend Emily Lestrange got me into your work, and we were watching Gothic Homemaking the night before a horror convention in Florida. I've been watching ever since and love your work. Thank you, Emily. Thank you. Another Emily and Emily. Thank you so much for all of you, really, all of you new people. Let's start with the old people because, you deserve the recognition first, right? You've been suffering with me all of these years. So thank you so much for continuing to watch the show after so many years. I hope to bring you much more Gothic homemaking. I really do. I really enjoy making it. It's a struggle, don't get me wrong. It's a constant financial and time management struggle. But I love to do it, and I love to bring it to you. And so thank you for continuing to watch. All you new people, thank you so much for discovering the channel, and tell a friend. The bigger this party gets, the better it's going to be, and then the more I'll be able to afford the things that I want to do for you on this show. Hotshot says, "Hi Voltaire, have you and Mayumi ever been to the Bahamas?"
No.
I've been to Bahama Los Pantalones.
Me too.
What?
No.
Me too. Says me too. Bahama Los Pantalones. I don't think I've ever been to the Bahamas. I think I went to the Virgin Islands once. I don't know. I was in Cuba. I was born there. I've never been back. Any Caribbean islands? You went to, well, no, you went to Miami. That's not Cuba. It's almost Cuba. Almost Cuba. My friends and I have been loving your music since The Devil's Bris. What made you write Snakes? Says this bleeping guy. I wrote Snakes about, my partner at the time, and I suspected she was not being faithful. And so when she would say she'd call me and it was midnight and she hadn't called, I suspected that maybe she was busy doing something she shouldn't have been doing. I was right, as it turns out. That's what the song's about. Anai. I'm sorry, Anai. I messed up your name again. Thank you for inspiring us to be ourselves and showing us your creativity. Love all of your ideas. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hopefully I'll see you in Mexico sometime sooner than later. Found you through It's Black Friday before the film premiere. Do you know how long ago that was? Dawn Depictions. 2 years ago, maybe? It was like 2 years ago. I don't think it was 3 years ago. Because I started Gothic Homemaking around 2016, and I interviewed Black Friday for an episode like my first or second year of the show. So it couldn't have been longer than 3 years ago. She's lovely. She's so nice. She's just very, very genuine, and she's very, very sweet, and she's very, very nice. Had a really lovely chat with her. Julian Tian says, I bought some of your albums back in the day and grew up listening to your awesome stuff. Just wanted to share my appreciation. Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it. Julian? Julian. Either's good. I like them both. Both are good names. But for what, can you turn the brightness up on that thing? Because I'm not a millennial. I can't see in the dark. I just lost my goth card. I just said I can't see in the dark. I was apparently not raised by bats. Oh, Mayumi, thank you for reading my question. Dice la señorita. Wolf Girl, with all of the editing you do and the videos that you do you think a blooper reel will ever be known? You know, that's funny, Wolf Girl, that you should say that. Because I've been wanting to do an episode called Gothic Homemaking Fails. It's not just a blooper reel. It really is like all the projects that went horribly, horribly wrong. Some of which you never saw because they went so poorly. And then some of the ones that went really, really well, you may be surprised to know, had like disastrous starts and had to be completely redone from scratch. And, you don't see that in the tutorial because why would I show you that? So I've been wanting to make that video for a while, and I only recently got serious. I now have a folder on my laptop called Gothic Homemaking Fails, and as things go wrong, I'm now dropping stuff in there. So I don't have to do the gargantuan task. Well, I'm going to have to do the gargantuan task of going through 3 years of videos to find all of the bloopers. But from here on, I will have those things collected somewhere already. And we shot something yesterday that had some pretty majestic bloopers in it. So yes, but I'm going to say April 1st. I'm going to say that's going to be a video for April Fool's Day. Margaret Pomeroy. My mom is from central New Jersey and was born around the same year, and she's wondering, what part of New Jersey are you from? Well, I spent my formative years in a place called Newark, New Jersey, which I just got some heat about on what was it? It was on YouTube, on one of my YouTube videos. Oh yeah, it's like one of the early Gothic homemaking videos when I had to go out to New Jersey to pick up a coffin-shaped armoire from like the FedEx station out there. And I say in the video, it's a Star Trek joke. I'm like, New Jersey, you will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. And Newark. I said Newark. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy, which might be true. And some girl who apparently lives in Newark was so mad, and she left me this really vulgar, terrible. She called me some names I'm not going to repeat, but one of them sounded a lot like flag, but it didn't have the L. And she was like, you're probably one of those, I'm not going to say the word, we're going to say effeminate males who goes to QXTs. It's like, I like QXTs. Screw you. But she was mad that I was making fun of Newark. Like, if you can't make fun of your hometown, what can you make fun of, really? Anyway, so other than that, I spent some time in West Orange, New Jersey as well, but that's about it. Margaret Pomeroy, she said that she understands why you want to bomb New Jersey. Yeah. Again, funny song about a funny topic. Probably a lot of people would be offended by that now. Sensibilities have changed. People are very, very touchy these days. In most cases for good reason. In some cases, I think it's a little over the top. Amanda Forrest, I got a friend into your music last year, but I've been listening to you since high school. All I want to say is you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. And you're awesome, too. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. What does Shenanigans say? Shenanigans, using my dad's computer but didn't want to miss the Q&A. Would you ever do your own creepy spin on a Christmas album? Yeah, that's already been in the works for years, as we were talking about earlier, because I wrote a song called Coming Out for Christmas about telling your family that you're gay on Christmas, which I think a lot of people can relate to in one way or another. I did a song called Santa Claus is Satan, which is accurate. is completely accurate. It's like Santa Claus is all about commercialism. And, if Christmas is really about the birth of Christ, Santa Claus is the antithesis of that, right? He's like an elf. He wears all red, never once mentions Jesus. It's all about like gifts and getting gifts and buying gifts. And, it's really all about commercialism. It really is the antithesis of Christianity. So Santa Claus might very well be Satan. So yeah, I think a spooky Christmas album is definitely something that could happen. Can I say this name? Unquoman. Unquoman? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What was it like working with Maxwell Adams and producing the song Brains for the show The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, for a full answer, you're going to want to go check out my video called Song Origins and Descriptions. I think it's something like that. And I did one about Brains. It's right here on this channel. And I talk at great length about that experience. But I can tell you right now that Maxwell Adams is a really, really fun, creative, amazing guy. And I really, really love that guy as a person. I ran into him in Hong Kong when I was on my way to Thailand like 2 years ago. And then I ran into him in Thailand. It was the craziest thing to just like be walking around Hong Kong and run into Maxwell Adams. So fun guy. He's not a fun guy. He's not like a mold or mildew. He's a fun guy. He's an entertaining fellow and one of my very good friends. Crying Wolf Studio says, you inspired me to start my own web series. I animate plush wolves doing comedy skits. Would it be okay to do an episode inspired by Gothic Homemaking? Of course. I would be flattered and honored. And good luck, because I know how hard it is to create content. So good luck with your show. Badger Blood, been a fan since I was still with my ex-husband in high school. Somewhere thereabouts, you're still the best and even more cool now. You're everyone's dream uncle. Thanks. It's very kind of you. I dance like an uncle at weddings. You should see me dance. How do you know Jade the Libra, says Bris. Same way you know Jade the Libra. I know her from YouTube and I watch her videos. And so, you know how it is, like you watch videos and you're like, you get engaged in what people are doing. And, Mayumi and I were in Mexico. I'm guessing you probably saw that episode where we bought her a haunted house. Mayumi and I were in Mexico. And when you watch shows, I'm saying this to you and you're like watching my shows, so some of you might relate, I don't know. But when you watch shows, you get to know the person whose show it is, who's vlogging, and you get to know what they like and what would interest them. And then when you see something when you're out and about, you're like, who would really love this? And we had that experience. I saw that haunted house. I was like, oh my God, Jade the Libra would freak out for this. It's like, let's just buy it and send it to her, because it was in Mexico. I figured it probably wasn't available in America. So I just know her like that. Okay, so Dead X Fish says, Volty, been a fan for 15 years. Love you so much. I have a question. If I wanted to have a bag made with your photo, how could I get your permission? Great question. You don't need my permission. That is the answer. And I'll tell you why. Because obviously, there's a lot of bootlegging and all that nastiness going on in the world. As you see, we talked about this earlier. That's one of my designs, but it's bootlegged all over the internet now. But you never have to ask permission to make one thing. That's just art, man. Like if you're going to mass produce an item and start selling it, then yes, you need to get a license from the artist to use the design. If you're just making one thing for yourself, just make it. Just make it. And that makes me proud that you would make it and you would wear it. Matthias, Jagged M. Matthias. I hope I'm saying it right. I'm making a costume based on your song, When You're Evil. The hair will use 5.5 kilograms of yam. Am I reading this right? And the whole costume weighing roughly 30 to 45 kilograms. Where can send you work in progress photos? Where can you send me work in progress photos? Well, that's a tricky question, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm easy to get a hold of. You can send anything you want to voltaire@voltaire.net, but I don't like attachments. I don't like to receive attachments because there's a lot of, people sending you attachments that have malware and things like that. So when somebody who I don't know sends me attachments, sometimes I just don't even read the email. But if you send me an email and you've put the work in progress photos on your Instagram, on your Facebook, or some kind of social media, you can send me a link and I'd love to go look at it. So yeah, so that would be the way to do it. Voltaire@voltaire.net. Send me a link to your work. Lucifer.
Melrose.
Hold on to that one. Lucifer Taylor, Bristol, England, 4 years ago on my 21st birthday, and it was my best birthday I could have hoped for. I will never forget meeting you. Amazing show. Thank you. That's very, very sweet. I hope to be there again in January. Let's hope so. Funky Little Ink Demon. Last year in Dallas, I gave you homemade earrings of a bird skull. Oh, you disappeared. Get back here. With a glass bottle at the bottom. I was wondering if you still have it. Yeah, it's here somewhere. But if you saw the layer, you'd understand. Everything's a little hard to find in here. I was wondering. I was saying to Mayumi the other day, I was like, how do things get lost in here? This place is so small. The answer is because there's so much stuff. Colin says, Voltaire, I got a question for you. What do you think is your most popular song? Like, what song do you think drew in the most attention? I'd have to say When You're Evil. I mean, I think that's the one. Ooh, when you're out of focus. Jeez. I'd have to say When You're Evil. I think that's the one that people reference the most. Or Brains, from the Cartoon Network show, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I would say those are probably my two most famous songs. And then, those fan videos that Daria Cohen made of The Night brought a tremendous amount of attention to the song The Night, which was never really, I think, a particularly well-known song. So that's another one. So that's a third one. And then Zombie Prostitute, she did one for that. Oh, and Land of the Dead from Cartoon Network. So I would think so, the top ones. And Death, Death, Devil, Devil, Evil, Evil Song, which is a song I don't really even think about very much, and I don't play it in live very much at all anymore. That one's really popular for a reason. I don't know why. I think maybe AQ Worlds. I'm not sure. Beast of Pirates Bay, that's definitely because of AQ Worlds. All right, I am rambling. Mayumi wants to show me a comment. Creamy Goodness. Hey, so interesting question. Since you've worked for Cartoon Network before and speak Spanish so well, how would you feel about working for a show called Villainous? Have them call my agent. My agent is me. Voltaire@voltaire.net. Tell them to call me. I will absolutamente me gustaría trabajar en ese programa. Y si hablo español. So yeah, send them along. My favorite second song is Robber Baron. That's an unusual one. I was just singing that the other day. I didn't even think I remembered how to play it, but I somehow managed to play it. I love The Conqueror Worm, Dead Girls, Blue-Eyed Matador, and Graveyard Picnic. Conqueror Worm, Dead Girls. Those are good ones. I was singing that too. Melita says, found you in college and went to my first con to see you, Dragon Con and some other Atlanta Con in spring of 2006 or 7. Your creations have really helped me over the years. Thanks for your work. Thank you, Melita. Thank you very, very much for being on board with the Lair of Voltaire and for watching Gothic Homemaking and for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Helena Handbasket, that's a good one too. That one's going to be on the Spanish album. The Spanish album is kind of like a best hit, a greatest hits album, but in Spanish. So it has Raised by Bats, it has The Night, it has both versions. It has the Death Rock version and the original version. It has Brains, it has Land of the Dead. And then it's got a whole bunch of songs from Ookie Spooky, just because I think that the songs on Ookie Spooky are already so like appropriate for like the Mexican scene. I think it's already got a sound like, Mayumi sings in a lot of ska bands, and a lot of the concerts that she's taken me to or where she was performing, there's a lot of horns, like a horn section and violin, and it's like an accordion sometimes. And it's like, wow, this is a lot like Ookie Spooky. So there's a bunch of the songs from Ookie Spooky on there. Loretta Pounder says, one of my biggest dreams would be to sing backing vocals on one of your songs. Would that ever be possible? I live in Albuquerque. So far away. That is a bit far away. You never know. The world is such a strange place. I've ended up being in movies that I just like, they were doing like a Kickstarter, and I was like, I really want to be in your movie. And they're like, okay. Can you come out? Can you fly out to where we're shooting? I'm like, all right. And, so you just never know. I I've also seen, like bands do stuff where they've asked people to send in vocals and they've mixed it in. So who knows? You never know. You know what you should do? I mean, if you want to sing backing vocals on something, chances are the bigger picture is you're a singer or you're an aspiring singer. So to that end, you should be working on your singing and putting out your singing and establishing a name for yourself, because that's always the best way to get someone to say, "Oh yeah, I definitely want that person on my album." Is like, when you've made a name for yourself. So that's something to it has nothing to do with me. I'm just saying career wise, that would be something that I would want, that I would think of doing is, well, that happens anyway, because like I'm an aspiring actor, right? Like I'm occasionally in films, but I'm not a famous actor. And so what I do is, like I have reached out sometimes to people and been like, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I can act, but I'd like to be in your movie. I'll tell 173,000 people about your movie if I'm in it." I've never done that, but maybe I should. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Wouldn't be a bad strategy. Sarah Rutledge says, "I just wanted to say that as one of the 5 people who remembers Chichon, I still love that story and setting, and you've not disappointed ever since." Sarah, thank you so much. Chichon is very, very special to me. Um, I started writing a Chichon novel, and then I had to kind of like put it aside because it got really convoluted. And I find like a similar thing happening with Black Labyrinth. I always start out with these small ideas. I'm just going to write this novel. It's not going to be very long. And then it just ends up like spiraling out of control into being some enormous epic that I don't feel I can handle anymore. That kind of happened with Chichon. Is Chichon still in print? No, Chichon has been out of print for a long, long time. I hope to put it back in print when I finish the novel. When am I going to finish the novel? When I finish Black Labyrinth. So anyway, it's all very complicated. ¿Qué me estaba diciendo?
Cindy K say hello to Trace.
Hi, Trace.
She said several times before.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's hard. Unfortunately, I can only read. I try to read all of the messages. It's just absolutely impossible. Oh yeah, it's my kiddo's favorite album. He's obsessed with Coco, and he says it's very Land of the Dead feel. He loves you. We brought him purple lights for his room. He wanted Voltaire lights. That is so sweet, Badger Blood. I love to hear that. I really enjoyed Call of the Jersey Devil. What a page turner, and couldn't put it down. Wow, thank you, Wolf Girl. I got some really, really terrible, terrible reviews for that book on what the hell, Goodreads.com. And I was reading one, and it was like, this book, there's a character, and I'm going to do verbatim, okay? So, well, man, I won't do verbatims. I don't want to get myself in trouble. There's a character who calls people FAG. There's a character, and he calls people RETARDs, and he makes fun of somebody for being fat, and he makes a rape joke. And this book is the worst thing in the world, and I've never. And it's like, did this person not realize that that's the villain? Like, that's the villain. The villain sucks. The villain is a terrible, terrible person, and that is why the villain behaves in a terrible, terrible way. And it just like kind of, it's Voltaire at Voltaire.net, unruly jerkface. Like, I totally get trying to curb people from saying offensive things that might offend people of a certain race, of a certain creed, of a certain religion, of a certain sexual orientation. I get that. Believe me, no one gets that better than I do. But I don't get trying to change literature to the point where villains aren't bad. Okay, so I remember reading that comment, and I was like, I think this person has completely missed the point of what literature is. You can actually educate quite a lot of people about what is the incorrect way to behave and what are the incorrect things to say and the incorrect ways to treat people by having the villain do all of those things. And naturally, in most stories, the villain gets his or her comeuppance, and you realize that it's a great morality tale. You realize that's not the way to be. I'd rather be like this person over here, who's the hero of the story, who might be somewhat flawed and has to go through a journey and there's some form of transformation, but they are not the villain. They are not the ones doing these terrible things. So anyway, I just found that so very perplexing. Like, it's okay if you don't like the book, but what a weird comment that they didn't like the book because there was somebody who behaved poorly. It's the villain. All right. Jonathan says, "Hey Voltaire, we loved your music channel for a few years. I love steampunk and wanted to know if you like steampunk and would show Gothic steampunk homemaking ideas. P.S. Shows in West Virginia." I think I've only ever been booked once in West Virginia. I, of course, would be thrilled to return if anybody would book me there again. But I really had quite a lovely time. Thank you very much for watching the show. First of all, as far as steampunk, yeah, I probably am one of two bands that have performed the greatest number of steampunk events. Like, while my music, I would not categorize my music as steampunk. My music is definitely aligned with a lot of the things that steampunks love. It sort of has an antiquated sound, has an ancient sound. Like, most of my songs are. Well, thank you very much, Woodrick, for the tip jar. Thank you. Most of my songs are written acoustically. They're performed with acoustic instruments. For the longest time, I hadn't made an album where electricity was involved. It was all violin, cello, accordion, horns, drums, acoustic guitar, etc. A lot of the themes are themes that are sci-fi themes, genre themes, horror themes, all things that definitely fit into the steampunk vernacular. So yeah, I think that so yes, I do quite like steampunk stuff ever since I was a child and saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the original steampunk movie, I think. So yeah. Will I do it on Gothic Homemaking? I don't think so. I think there's already other people like really focusing on that, and I'd rather somebody else focus on it and do a great job than me kind of half-ass it. Velian von Vel. Oh, Velian. You corrected me last time. I hope I got your name right this time. I bet I didn't. You can correct me again. Says, have you seen Has Been Hotel? I haven't. I think I started to watch an episode or whatever, a short film or whatever it was, and then I got called away and never went back. So I do need to check it out. I do need to check it out. That's another show people should tell me I should be on, and of course I'd be happy to be on it. Hey Voltaire, says Valentina X. I watched Velocipaster for my birthday with my friends, and we just about died of laughter. Thought your character was hilarious. Was that movie as fun to make as it was to watch? Yeah, it was. I mean, that day was weird. I was in a cape, like in a velvet cape, sitting in the backyard of a witchcraft store somewhere in Pennsylvania. It was quite cold, and I was outside. There was like no room left inside of the store, and I was just sitting outside, like smoking cigars, and taking selfies and posting them on Instagram like a fool. And then, there's always a little bit of nervousness involved. You want to do a good job. As an actor on a set, you want to do a good job. You want the performance to be entertaining. I mean, in a film like that, you want it to be entertaining more than anything. But I had a great time working with that crew and working on that film. And the director and the producer cinematographer were my students. They were my former students. So it was really weird, like to be there. Just, I don't know. It was fun. I had a great time. I hear there's a sequel. I'm told I'm playing Dracula. There you have it. They haven't announced it, but that's what I've been told. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but now I've said it. You are my age, says David. You rock. Everyone I turn them on to you says thank you. Thank you for turning them on. Do you read the stories of H.P. Lovecraft? I've read Call of Cthulhu. I don't know if I may have read one or two others, but I'm not an avid reader. I'm just not an avid reader. What is your favorite Halloween movie? I have so many, but would love to know yours for this wonderful time of year. Love your channel. Thank you for everything you do. says Scott. Scott, I have so many movies that I love, but oh, party foul. Hold on, I just spilled my coffee all over the place. But I am presently trying to figure out, I think it's going to have to be on Amazon. I'm trying to figure out how to show Mayumi Pumpkinhead. I really want to watch Pumpkinhead this Halloween season. Haven't seen it in a while, and Mayumi's never seen it, and it's not on Shudder. And I've quit Netflix. I'm finally sick of Netflix. But I quit Netflix and I joined Amazon. So hopefully it's on Amazon. But I would say I want to see Pumpkinhead. I need a refresher course. It's been a long, long time. And Messing with Fire. Yes, I'm censoring your name because, you know, the kids at home. Says, I run a gentleman's club in Virginia. Introduced the girls to Cat House Tragedy. They loved it. If you're ever through, we'd love to have you. That's very kind. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to go. Oh, my fiance's looking at me like, would you now? Would you like to go?
Interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. It's an invitation from a gracious fellow.
Can I go too?
Of course you can.
Perfect.
I'll pay for you to get a lap dance if you want one. I'll take you to Chippendales.
All right.
Mayumi already said she's not into like Chippendales type guys. Whew. She said she went once, right? Was it in Mexico?
Like 3 times.
3 times. Oh, look, I'm going all out of focus here.
Bachelorette party.
Bachelorette parties. She went to some stripper place. And there was one guy called El Cubano.
Yeah.
He was Cuban, allegedly, or he was pretending to be Cuban. And he was all buff and he was wearing a little, you know, banana hammock. And he danced with her and he wanted her to place her hand on his chest. And she did. And she said it was gross because it was all stubbly. You don't have that problem with me because I don't shave my chest anymore. These aren't Almost Human days. My chest was waxed on the cover of Almost Human. What is your current favorite goth rock band? Says Pedro Perez. Check out Black Rose Burning. Black Rose Burning. You can find them, you know, wherever music is downloadable. Bandcamp. Here, check them out on YouTube. We're already on YouTube. Check them on YouTube. Black Rose Burning. I love that album, Year of the Scorpion. Check that out. It's really good. But I got to tell you, what I listen to quite a lot also is what's it called? I got to pull up my iTunes here. Hold on one second. It's called Mexican Underground Volume 1. And there's 2 discs. I got that from El Real Under. Well, I got it from the Frankenstein shop in CD Mex, Omar's store.
Yeah.
The owner's name Omar. He's got a store called Frankenstein, and it's Dr. Frankenstein shop. It's in Roma.
Yeah.
Or Condesa.
It's still Roma.
It's in Roma, and I bought that record there. It's a 2-disc set of Mexican death rock bands, and it's really great. I'm gonna play one right now. I'm gonna turn this way down now because I'm gonna get like a citation from YouTube for playing music that isn't mine. Wolf Girl says your apartment is haunted, and yes, Pumpkinhead is on Amazon Prime right now. Thank you, Wolf Girl. Awesome. We're watching that tonight. We shouldn't be because we have so much work to do, but we're going to watch it anyway. Relda. ¿Le podrías enviar un saludo a mi novia Ángela? Hola Ángela, bienvenido a el... Shit, how do you say lair?
Guarida.
La guarida de Voltaire. La guarida del guanajo. Any paranormal experiences in your place? Says Natalie. Nope. I've never had any paranormal experiences of any sort. And considering that I stay in so many haunted places, I think that should tell you something about how little ghosts like me. They just never ever show themselves. Xanthus says, I once complimented your interview style. Do you have any friends, heroes you might interview over Zoom soon? Well, to be honest, I've stopped doing interviews because people didn't seem to like them. I like them. I think they're great. I think that the only thing better than listening to one spooky person talk about their spooky career is listening to two spooky people talking about their experiences and how they're similar and dissimilar. I find that really fascinating, and I think that there's been some really really great interviews on this channel, but they didn't really seem to resonate with people. They never got a lot of views. So I have a list of people I'd love to interview that I've actually tried to interview on the show, like Elvira. I've reached out to her people like 3 different times. It's always a no, unfortunately. And Doug Jones, I love Doug Jones, and I tried to get him down here once, but I don't know if it wasn't he. I was trying to interview him in LA, and that didn't work out somehow. Um, but yeah, I love to do the interviews. I think they're very laid back, but I think they're very honest and informed and entertaining. So I personally love to do them. I just don't know that many of you want to see them. Well, I just missed somebody. Missed my Patreon pledge this month, so here it is. Thanks. Thank you, Jay. And Dr. QTM. I absolutely love everything you do. You've inspired me to be myself. Songs like Dunce, Feathery Wings, God Thinks, and Almost Human have made me me. Wow, I'm delighted to hear that. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening. ¿Tienes uno para mí?
Yes.
Vamos a ver. Dre Skull, ever thought. Hey Voltaire, I've been debating writing and drawing a short book with a simple rhyming style. I've seen that you've written a few books, and I was wondering if you do finish it, how should I go about getting it published? Oh, that is the worst question in the entire world. It's no fault to you. It's just because I've been there. I think that I've written so many books that like a publisher should just automatically be like, oh yeah, this guy's written a bunch of books and they sold okay, so we should publish his book. Never that way. It's never that way. I always find myself starting from scratch like I've never written anything and nobody knows who I am. Ooh, Buck Chiku. I don't know who just mentioned Buck Chiku, but I'm a fan. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because I don't have any advice because I just don't know. I've kind of gone the route of like sending manuscripts to publishers and just like getting doors like slammed in your face again and again and again is so soul crushing that honestly, if it's not going to get published by a huge publisher that's going to make you an international star, you just publish it yourself. Because you're just going to end up giving somebody who's going to do very little for you all of the money. It's kind of the same thing with small independent record labels. If they're not going to put you on tour, if they're not going to like expose you to tens of thousands of people that you couldn't reach yourself, you're just going to give them a ton of money for them doing very little for you. So I wish I had a better answer for you because I feel your pain so intimately. It's a hard process, but good luck. Number one, finish it. Number one, because everything else is irrelevant unless the book exists. So that's number one. Finish the book. I have a ghost hunting team, says Tara Sin, and we're wondering if we can use Reggae Mortis in our videos. I mean, yeah, YouTube. If it's like a show that's on television, we need to talk. If it's a weekly show or a regular show that's on YouTube, you probably want to send me an email and send me like an official request. I say yes to pretty much everybody and just let them know what kind of credits need to be involved and stuff like that. But yeah, just send me an email at voltaire@voltaire.net for an official reply. Doug Jones is amazing. Hocus Pocus is my go-to movie for this season, and Doug Jones is so awesome. I agree with you, Scott. I enjoyed the interviews. I stumbled upon them when I was seeking out videos about goth clubs, goth culture and lifestyle. They were very informative. Thank you, Christine. Erica Chapman says, how did you meet your lovely fiance? Erica, I met my lovely fiance at the Spring Cotillion. She was wearing a princess gown, and I was also wearing a princess gown, and we chuckled and chortled, and one of us was going to have to go home and change. I'm kidding. I met her on Bumble. True story. Met her on Bumble. I think I covered that in the last video newsletter, so you can go back and check that one out for a slightly more detailed account. But yeah, we met on Bumble. Have you considered making official stop motion animated music videos for your songs? Nope. I get that question all the time. I answered that one last week as well, so check that out. But yeah, it's just far too time consuming for what there is to be gained by doing it. P.S. I'm good friends with Andy Dina Bellamorte and was in a remake of Plan 9 from Outer Space. Is that your phone or mine? Oh no, that's terrible because my phone is so loud that those at home listening with headphones have now been deafened for life. Plan 9 of Outer Space, he scored as Morgue Cadaver. That's so great. I wish I was in a remake of Plan 9 from Outer Space. I love that movie. That's really, really cool. I really, really do like that movie quite a lot. I like black and white sci-fi horror. It's like sci-fi horror, especially if it's black and white and kind of cheesy, is right up my alley, as is horror comedy. I signed up for Shudder because, you know, Jade was doing that thing where she had a code for like some kind of 30-day free trial on Shudder, and I signed up thinking, let's see what's on here, and if I don't like it, I'll just, you know, cancel it and I won't get charged. But as usual, I just forgot to cancel it, and now I'm on fan, you know, to subscribe to Shudder. But I went through like all of their comedy horror stuff, and some of it's great. And there was a movie on there called Dead Detectives where they used my song Day of the Dead. Officially, they even paid me. I was shocked and delighted. Enséñame, ¿qué tienes?
Loretta Ponders.
Ajá, pero me tiene que enseñar porque ya me
Sí,
perdí.
toma.
All right, let's see.
Hay varios.
Okay. Loretta Pounders says, hey, my boyfriend wants to know how you stay looking so young and healthy. Is it magic? Or do you have a health routine you like to do? It's rum and time. Rum and time. I do nothing. I really don't do it. I hardly exercise. I have no explanation. Rum is really the only reasonable explanation because I have no other explanation. I don't eat well. I eat whatever I want, pretty much, and I drink coffee all day and rum all night. So maybe I'm just pickled. That's entirely a possibility. But thank you for the compliment. Lucas says, aside from what I asked previously, I also wanted to ask if you would ever make something inspired by the Bat Cave for one of your future videos, if possible. The Bat Cave meaning what? Like the London Death Rock home, like birthplace of goth Bat Cave? Is that what you mean? Or the Bat Cave, the club in New York City? I'm not sure what you mean, Lucas, but if you mean like death rock, I mean, like, you know, I love death rock, but I'm not a death rocker, as you can see by the way that I dress. So I typically don't do much in the way of like decorating in that style. I love it. I really love when I see it. I'm thrilled, but it's not my expertise. Courtney Rose says, do you watch anime, and if so, what is your favorite? Courtney Rose, I think I stopped watching anime in the early 90s. There was a period of time where a lot of it got on my radar, like stuff like Ninja Scroll and, you know, obviously Akira and all of the Miyazaki stuff. But to be honest, I haven't seen anything, literally anything in so long. So I've kind of fallen off the train. I'm sorry to say. Jay says, sorry if this has been asked before, but what is the black and white guitar you use at your shows, and would you recommend that guitar for a beginner? That is a Takamine, and I got to tell you, a Takamine is a Japanese brand of guitar. The Takamine G series is so solid. I had mine in the closet for a month, and I pulled it out, and it was still in tune. So they're solid guitars. They're great for travel, you know, because you just like, I mean, I stick mine in the overhead of the plane or check it, and it comes out the other end in tune. It's just amazing. They're very solid. They sound pretty good. I don't know that they're the best sounding guitars, but they are so they're workhorses. They're just really, really reliable. I change a string once every 2 years. You know, it's just a great guitar, so I would recommend it. Okay, okay. Oh, and Capricorn Dragon. Oh, hey, how you doing? Brad is catching up. Tell Brad get on YouTube. Get on YouTube, Brad. I mean, I want to yell something else the minute you say Brad, but I don't think I should because it's a, you know, it's a Rocky Horror thing. MDG says, love your music. Can't wait for live shows again. Hopefully, I'm not a shy idiot the next time. Hopefully, I'm not a drunk idiot the next time. So, there you go. Brian Hatcher says, I'm a big fan of your interview videos, although Gothic YouTubers versus depression and suicide really kicked me in the feels. Kicked me in the feels too. Man, I was in a bad place when I made that video. I am not going to lie. I was in a very, very dark place. And that was the way I decided to deal with it, was to make a video about it. And I think it's been very helpful. It was helpful for me, certainly, and I hope it's been very helpful for other people as well. Winter in May says, have you ever seen the Vampire series on YouTube? It's really cool, and it uses a couple of your songs. Oh, the Vampire series. Yeah, of course. Yes, I've seen those. They're quite good. Very well done. Do you remember your first experience in a goth club? Yes, I actually do. It was later than would be imagined because I was in New York City from 85 and I was goth and I had a girlfriend who was goth and, you know, we dressed goth and we listened to goth music, but I had no idea that there were clubs. I found out that there were clubs in like the early 90s. And I was, to this day, I will remember it like it was yesterday. I was walking down the street and I saw a woman. She was wearing a black velvet dress in the middle of summer. She was death rock, kind of. She had like a mohawk of like dreaded braids full of metal trinkets and skulls and all sorts of weird things. It was really long. She had some death rock makeup. And I walked up to her and I was like, you look really cool. And I'm just kind of curious. Is there a place where people like us go? And she said, yeah, there's a place called The Bank. It's a goth club. And it's on every Friday and Saturday. Do you want to go? I'll take you. And I said, yes. Her name's Ms. Margot. We are friends to this day. That is how we met. I literally walked up to her on the street, said, you look great. And she said, thank you. It was really like goths communing. It really was. It was nothing more than that. It was, you look cool. You seem like you're of the same tribe that I'm from. And she took me to that club. And that's when I first realized that we had a place that we hung out together upside down from the ceiling and listened to Bauhaus. And she now lives in Portland. She does a little cameo in my weird Portland episode because she works at the Lovecraft bar there, as well as being an amazing DJ. So she DJs all over the world. And she's on Twitch. And she DJs quite a lot of really cool, obscure goth stuff on Twitch. So check her out, Ms. Margot, M-I-Z Margot, M-A-R-G-O. And Julian Atwell says, just a reminder that we love you and you matter. Hope you're doing well. Stay awesome. Thank you, Julian. I really appreciate that. And, you know, it's getting, oh my goodness, it is 11:38. Does that mean we've been going for almost 2 hours? Is that what that means? Yeah, a little over an hour and a half. I say we go for the solid 2 hours. What do you think?
Yeah. Princess Trinidad.
Okay. Please wish me a happy birthday. My birthday is in 23 minutes.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Princess Trinidad. Happy birthday, 23 minutes. Wow. Mars Wong? What?
Is Mars? Is Mars there?
Oh my goodness. Thanks. I'm glad somebody in this family makes money. Thanks for the super sticker. That's really awesome.
Mars.
Marzi. Marzipan. Welcome aboard to the horror show. Shenanigans says, good night, Voltaire. Thank you for the awesome content. Love it every time. Sweet dreams and cheers. Good night, Shenanigans. Sleep well. Happy birthday. A lot of happy birthdays, Princess Trinidad. Should I sing a song? Why don't you pass me my guitar and I'm going to sing whatever I have of of a song.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna sing a little. I'm gonna do a little bit.
This
Oh wait,
one?
Angie says, "Do you plan on doing bedroom decor and DIY projects? Also, do you think being male impacts your views? I notice the females tend to get higher views." Uh, yes, we were actually you and I were talking about this. I was saying being a Gothic YouTuber who's male, I definitely think that I have to work extra hard to get as many views as the female Gothic YouTubers. But considering how the world is, you know, about time. About time a man had to work twice as hard to get the notice that a woman gets. But it's also, it's also a phenomenon that I'm very familiar with from Instagram. I was telling Mayumi a story about how I once dated a girl who had twice as many Instagram followers as I had. I had worked on creating content, songs, books, toys, comics, all this stuff for decades. She was pretty. And I was like, why does she have more followers than I do? And it's because she's pretty. And it's just, it's just the way of the world. Attractive women attract. And 53-year-old creepy goth guys have to work a little harder to seem interesting, I think. Do I plan on doing bedroom decor and DIY projects? Probably at some point. Kitchen comes first. I have to finish the bathroom, then I have to do the kitchen, and then we'll talk about everything else. Erica says, watching you do the time warp last year in Boston was a highlight of my life. You should definitely do another show with them again. Erica, I plan to. I have been in touch with that promoter, and hopefully that'll happen early next year. Fire Sword God, have you ever been recognized in public at random? Yeah, it's actually happening more and more these days. And it was that week that suddenly I had like 10,000 new followers on here on YouTube in like a week or two. And it was that week, ironically, or maybe not so ironically, that I was stopped like 4 different times on the street. And I thought that was really cool. It feels really good when, people say all sorts of dumb stuff like, oh, I don't want to be recognized. But like, nobody hates being liked. And nobody hates feeling like their work is paying off. So it was really lovely. It was really lovely when people came up and they were like, don't want to interrupt you. Just want to tell you, I really love your show. I love that. It's great. Loretta says, have you ever heard of the bank Blackbriar? I just found them, and the vocalist has an amazing voice. I'm a soprano like her, and I want to be her. I have not checked that out. I have not checked them out, but I will. Crystal Vins says, oh, omedeto. Danjobi omedeto. Love and hugs. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much. And are we going to do this song? Oh, hold on. Lou Rangel says, this week I learned that my preschool kid is going to do a tombstone dessert in Zoom class. So I'm adding cemetery dirt and pumpkins. Oh, that's fantastic.
Lou Rangel.
Lou Rangel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Winter in May says, Nefarious Angel asked if you would work with Joanne Fabrics on a clothing line. Also from me, what's your favorite song of yours? I would absolutely. I mean, that's my dream. Like my dream is that a store like Joann's is going to say, "Hey, we've noticed that you design all of this cool stuff, and we'd love for that to be part of our line." And that's a dream come true. Will it ever happen? I don't know, but I would love that. What's my favorite song of my own? I think When the Circus Came to Town. Decomposed Corpse. How do you stay so young looking? Is the blood of your enemies? Is it the blood of your enemies or bath bombs? Asking for myself. It's the blood of my enemies. I have fewer and fewer enemies. I think, do you make more enemies as you get older? I don't know. I feel like I have fewer and fewer enemies the older I get. Because I think I'm like so far less acerbic than I was when I was younger. I think when you're younger, you feel like you have a lot to prove. And and there's that, that male toxicity. I don't think I fall like really far to the end of the spectrum of male toxicity because let's face it, I'm heterosexual. but there's a lot of braggadocio and posturing involved when you're a younger guy. And I think as I get older, I just feel more comfortable with being who I am and where I am and what I'm doing. And I think that just makes me all around a more mellow individual, which I think leads to having less enemies. So there's less blood to bathe in, unfortunately. Still, Stacy says you always say you're just a goth. You're just a goth dad and or unattractive. You big silly dork. You're still a gorgeous goth guy. Thank you, thank you. I do appreciate that. Jay says thank you for the recommendations. Buying a Takamine GD30 CE in black. Also, hope you do a show in Australia again one day. Would love to hear your music live. I would love to return to Australia. If the lair is a studio apartment with a couch, 2 chairs, a table, and an armoire, where do you guys sleep? Ha 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 ha! I told you, on our sides. That's Ms. Aunt Ardika. We sleep with Orville. Orville sleeps between us. All right, so now I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to play you something I've been working on, okay? Gotta focus first. There's no lyrics. There's very few lyrics. When I said I was evil, what did you think I meant? That I cheat at cards, or like those cards, that my corners are slightly bent? When I said I was evil, what did you think that implied? Good heavens, my friend, did you think I lied? A hyena tears the flesh off another living being. It does not repent, no lament. It's the way it was meant to be. And the lioness defends with the deadliest of means. She might love the thrill of the kill, whatever fulfills her needs. Nowadays, everyone's a villain, so it seems. And they strut around the town wearing black. And the cold misunderstood, when in fact they're merely good. It's villain credentials that they lack. And unlike me, they've got no scars on their backs. I was born in the full moon's light, and when I emerged it made the angels cry. With my heart as black as stone, and when I was full grown, I was wed to the night. That's right, I made that girl in black my bride. So you can trust in me, just in me, 'cause I've got friends on the other side. You poor unfortunate souls, your diamonds in the rough. And now with your permission, I'm going to do my stuff. No one can deny what I do. I am the best. Still don't have lyrics for that part. As a specimen, I'm intimidating, yes. If I don't scare you, nothing else will. Let's sound the drums of war. It's like music in the air. It's time to follow me, so be prepared. Be prepared. There's more, but that's all I'm going to sing you, because that's all that I have got so far. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see what was happening there at the end, right? It's that section of the song. You know, I get so many people telling me that what I that I write. No, let me rephrase that. I get so many people taking my songs and then cutting Disney villains to songs like When You're Evil and Land of the Dead and The Night and stuff like that. That what they're really telling me is that what I should be doing is writing songs for Disney villains. So I just decided to take that to heart. So this song is called When I Said I Was Evil. Obviously, it needs a lot of work. You know, I sang you little bits of it here and there, out of order. But it's a song for the main villain in Black Labyrinth. And it's kind of like a sequel to When You're Evil. It's like kind of saying like, you know, well, he does something really, really terrible. And his second in command looks at him like, what? And he's like, I told you I was evil. When I said I was evil, what did you think I meant? And that's what the song's about. But that ending part, you know, where he goes into this chant, every single line is from a different Disney villain. So you can trust in me, just in me. That's Ka from Jungle Book. Because I've got friends on the other side, Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. You poor unfortunate, you poor unfortunate souls. Ursula, Little Mermaid. Your diamonds in the rough. That's Jafar from Aladdin. And now, with your permission, I'm going to do my stuff. Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. And that whole section's like that. It excites me. I hope you enjoyed that. Magnus says, hi, met you at the Chicago Steampunk Con. It was one of the best experiences I've had. Question, would you do more how to play videos? I kind of stopped doing those because I realized that, you know, they were labor intensive, like a lot of these videos are. Not this one. This one's just me talking into a camera. This one's easy to do. Thank you, Seon. Thank you very much for the super sticker. But those were very labor intensive, and they, you know, they apparently only appeal to people who care about what the songs are about, which was a very small percentage of the people, you know, on this channel. So, so I kind of stopped doing them. I don't know if I will return to it. Joe, so nice to see you, Joe. I missed you at Dragon Con this year. It was really sad not being there, and I always look forward to seeing you there. What did Joe say? Hopefully we'll see each other next year at Dragon Con. I already paid for my badge. Oh, wow, cool. It's good to be prepared. I hope to see you there. Christian says, wow, Voltaire, he seems like a cool guy. Can't wait to tell my friend. I said highlighted words to him. And I read them live on the air. Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you for watching. And are we at midnight yet? We have 9 minutes. There's 9 minutes left. How many of these questions can I answer in 9 minutes? Have you been to Boston? Yes. I've played there many, many times. Do you plan to release more vinyl? Yes. I do hope to do that. Jesus. What else? Any name recommendations for my pet iguana? I'm thinking of Ramsey, meaning Meadow of Ravens, or Cain, based off the Bible, of course. I think you should call him Globlin. Focus. Globlin. What do you think? Velocipaster. You should call him Velocipaster.
Yes.
Somebody asked, will you be in Velocipaster 2? I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you that, but they did ask. They did say, will you be in Velocipaster 2? I said, absolutely. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a secret, but if it is, I guess the cat's out of the bag. I really hope it happens. I really want to be in that movie. Fire Sword God says, what was that Mexican Underground Volume #1 song called again? I'm having slight issues finding it. Also, hope you come to Kansas City again soon. I think the one that I played was called Gray. No. Cita en el Cementerio. Yeah, that one. That one's called Cita en el Cementerio, which means date in the cemetery. And it's by Trapo Dolls. Trapo is rag, like rag dolls. Trapo Doll. Trapo Dolls. Highly recommend that album. It's a great album. It gets played a lot here. Maybe not as often as Black Rose Burning, You're the Scorpion. In case you haven't heard that one, that's my friend George. And this is the song, you know, I'm just going to play my favorite song. I'm in the presence of beauty. When you dance next to me. Who needs a goth club? That's a great album. I highly recommend it. Happy Halloween, David. Thank you. Oh, yes, Morgan, When You Dance. Morgan's a big fan of this band, too. Hello from Chihuahua. I'm trying to make my friends fans of you. Do it. Convince them. Trick them. Fool them into thinking this is good, what I do here. Any ideas if you ever going to do a show in Central California? I don't know. Just don't know. I'll go anywhere they'll have me. I spent a week a couple months ago drawing a bunch of art on IG. Is that Instagram? Yeah, based on your songs. It was fun. Is there a song of yours you haven't seen fan art of yet that you want people to draw art of? Oh, God. don't do Cat House Tragedy. Just don't do that one. I'm not sure I want to see any of that. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think people have done Beast of Pirates Bay, but I'm always curious about people's interpretation of what that creature looks like. What's it like teaching at New York school? I quit, kind of. Well, they went online, and I was like, I don't really want to do online classes. So I'm presently not teaching. I'm unemployed, y'all. So thanks for the super stickers and the super chats. See.
Where can I buy Hargoyle?
Oh, oh, Mr. Black Bear, where can I buy a Hargoyle plush? I need one. Voltaire.net/store. Voltaire.net/store. If you go there, you'll find a link to one. Ever been to the Elysium in Austin, Texas? I've played there every year for like the last 15 years. So yeah. In fact, I played there on my birthday for a whole bunch of years in a row. I think 6 years in a row I played at the Elysium on my birthday. I just recently donated to their GoFundMe, and if you haven't done that yet, you should definitely do it because they need your help. You know, they've been closed and they're, you know, the pandemium. Now it's not pandemia. Now it's pandemium. The pandemic has hurt a lot of people, especially, you know, us musicians and people in the entertainment business. So, and they've been hit hard. So please help them if you can. And then I'll see you there next time I play in Austin, Texas. It's the only place I perform in Austin, Texas.
I think they can miss it. The trace.
Yo lo hice.
Ah.
Oh yeah,